Message out of here. Good evening, morning, after all over the world that joined, subscribe and like so you can access the world. Today's sessions and for you, it is where we you we've got individuals from their lives is that as especially if you have I'll be working on you impactful impact session. If you're listening to this recording, the sound is destroyed. So even to this as a recording, you're going to feel the frequencies. And that's the new, say, science that can transform the world. We've tried a lot of great ideas, great inventions, great concepts, whether it's in medicine, whether it's in technology, whether it is energy, as far as, like fossil fuels or, battery powered fuels now, solar energy and so on like that. But the next big wave in any industry is the use of frequencies. Just like the microchip, or the computer has, say, transformed, the world. There's a microchip in everything, right? They're even trying to get microchips in you as well. But the next wave is literally about understanding and then controlling your frequency so we can, say, transform and change the world. So that's where the big thing is. And we here at XI, Exponential Intelligence Science, is leading the forefront on understanding, say, this new technology. By the way, it's not really a new technology. It's a timeless technology that we are, say, ascending or awakening to a level to actually understand it. So it's always been around us, right? In fact, it's had millions of years of, say, evolution to create, say, such preciseness. So millions of years of technology. And this is where we go back to our roots, not to go back to, say, the simple times, but use technologies or create technologies that will actually, say, benefit us rather than, say, destroying us, because that's what we do. Technologies, even medications, and even, the current health standards or whatever we do, or even wealth or even love in today's, say, society, it's sacrificial, right? We sacrifice something to benefit. In the new frequencies that are coming up for the world, you don't have to sacrifice anymore. You just don't have to sacrifice anymore to get the benefits of what we're supposed to be already in. So this is where we can age differently. Somebody's talking about the background. Thank you so much. Yeah. At a lovely friend's house here in Texas, which is pretty damn hot, by the way. It's like 107 degrees. Yeah, it's hot. Yeah. And it's not even a dry heat, by the way. It's but they've got a lovely pool. But anyway, uh, um, but so kind of lost my track of thought. But the key is that we're at the forefront, and many of you who've practiced exponential intelligence are starting to see that, wow, this is the way the world should be, and this is where we save the humans. By the way, I have a Save the Humans project where we save the humans and then we can save the earth. Because if you look at, like, earth and saving the animals, saving the rainforest, saving the atmosphere and so on like that, if humans disappeared, everything would come back to center. So what's the key component there? Is humans. So if we just save ourselves and be a better version of it and run from, say, the technology or the consciousness that has evolved over billions or maybe trillions of years, we'd be totally fine. We'd be absolutely fine. We'd be in rhythm with everything else of the world. We don't have to destroy ourselves again to, say, enhance our reality. So, all right. Ooh, Billy and I are going to Desert Springs. That's beautiful. So we'll go ahead and get started. Again, these are impact sessions. As I work on one individual, I'll be working on you as well. By the way, especially those individuals who've done, say, healing mastery. This is a great opportunity for you to listen in and see how I analyze individuals or scan people. This is where your abilities can come in. By the way, what my abilities, everybody has these abilities, that's what exponential intelligence is about, helping you understand that we all have, say, unbelievable, untapped potential to open up into, and I teach that with exponential intelligence science. All right, so the first individual as we start is it Marcy?
Marcia,
Marcia.
Marcia, Marcia, can you
Hi,
hear
Marcia.
me?
I can. Yes. How are
Great.
you?
I'm fine, really. Looking forward to hearing what you have to say about me.
Yes, you're always that inquisitive type. Anyway, so absolutely. So how long have you been with XI? Or I hear that your daughter's online as well.
Yes, she is. Yes,
Okay,
I
awesome.
I saw you on a talk show,
Oh, you did?
and
Okay.
I found your background very interesting.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was. That's what drew me to you and my daughter.
Oh, awesome. So, Marcia, the reason why maybe, my background, of near deaths and so on,
Yeah.
probably intrigued you is because you actually say, connect to the other side, if that makes sense to you. You're intuitive. Does that make sense to you?
I'd like to think I am. I seem to be blocked off
Yeah.
from all my talents.
Okay. So just work with me here, Marcia, because what you
Sure.
do is like no matter what I say, you'll always think about it or you'll say no and you'll say it another way. And the reason why you do that is what I talked about. You connect to the other side or basically the side of death. Okay. You guys honor death in your family, which is really fantastic. But what's happened for you is that if you don't say no, and that's how you protect yourself, you're always guarding yourself from people, because they will pull you into their reality, if that makes sense for you. At a young age, you learn that it's like, you know what, I got to guard myself. In fact, around 2 or 3 or 4, anyway, at a young age, was like your parents afraid of somebody dying or around them?
I have no idea, really, to be honest with you.
Okay. So it just seemed that that kind of opened you up to the possibilities of, say, death or the other side, as I would call it. And just take a deep breath in, hon. Just notice this part area, higher chest area. So, for example, say your parents were, say, like your mom, she was afraid of, your grandma dying, okay, when you were really young, for example. And again, I'm just saying it as an example, okay, which is probably true, by the way, even if you don't remember. So what happens is that, say, experience of being afraid of death through your mom's eyes, you saw that, but as a child, you see the expansive side of death, and then this is where you've, say, gone to those realms and you see a lot of beauty and grace in the world. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, I've never been afraid of death.
Yep. Well, I'm explaining the reason why, because you
Yeah.
see the beauty and grace of death, you see the possibilities of people, but then at the same time, when you're so open like that, your life gets, people might abuse you or people might take advantage of you, so on, from what I'm seeing. And I'm not going to get to specifics because then, again, you'll deny it just to save your space or protect yourself. And why you do that is you try to stay here, basically. So let's bring you here and just help you stay in this reality. And what this does for you is that expansive possibilities that you understand about life, hun, can be here in physical form. You don't have to, say, migrate over to the other side, especially as you age. Does that make sense to you?
Yes,
This
yes.
is also where this is also where people, as they age, what happens to people, and you've seen this as well, is that as they age, you see their physical body, but then they're zoned out or they're in another realm. Does that make sense for you? So, um, so this is again, you don't want to be that person, when you age. So let's bring you all back in. Just take a breath in. Just notice your upper chest, your shoulders. Let's really pull you into this space. And this is where you get to see the blessings of the other side in physical form. Because when you start to see, say, blessings out there somewhere, the physical body or the physical experience of this life always becomes maybe not tragic, but sacrificial. In your life, you've had a lot of sacrifices. You've made a ton of sacrifices for yourself, for your kids, for your two relationships that you've had, or three?
I had two.
Two? Okay. Yeah, I see
Two,
two. And maybe one more, that wasn't as impactful, but I see three. Yeah, okay. So yeah, two. So even
great.
then, you know what I mean? We won't talk about that other one, okay, Marcia? Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's probably like it's a college or high school sweetheart that you never forgot about, despite marrying two other people or connecting with two other people. So anyway, that connection is still there for you, by the way. Yeah. So it's literally the only person you connected with and had a deep, deep, deep love for, although the physical experience didn't happen. And again, that goes back to sacrificing, because that's what it's about. When again you understand. I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh, so does that make sense for you, Marcia?
Pardon me?
Did that all make sense for you?
Yes.
Okay. So do you have any questions for me?
Yes. I have you answered the first part because I've kind of isolated myself from society.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm a Reiki master, but I don't feel the energy.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Uh, I just feel kind of, well, I've closed off from society completely.
Yep. Yep. And again, so I explained it in a very high level. You would go, well, I just don't like that person. Or especially your Reiki, for example, you don't feel the energy because you, Marsha, are the energy. Get
That's
it?
never been said.
Yeah. So which is really beautiful, and it's a nice clean energy. But it's kind of like fish. If they never, or us, we're in air, but we like, well, what? If our environment changes, like if we go in the water, it's like, oh gosh, I'm in a different environment. So your frequency again is you, and that's why you don't feel it, because you're the same temperature, for example, as your environment. Does that make sense? And that's how you can help people. So
Okay.
okay. But the key is the more you work with people, like your higher self or your spiritual self is here. Okay. And then
Mhm.
your physical form is here. So when you do Reiki on people, you literally transmute yourself or move into this reality. And then the body becomes damaged, or it gets disconnected. So the more you work on people, the more disconnected you get. And then people, if you're an empty, say, vessel, then people's problems like pour into you. And this is where you've secluded yourself. So what I was doing for you in this session is like your spirit self is here, or again, the space of death, if you want to call it. Your physical form is here. What I
Mhm.
did was moved you over here. And
Okay.
then instead of having that bubble outside of you, I put that bubble around you.
Oh, good.
So
Great.
you'll feel, say, that the abundance that's available for all of us. You'll feel that grandness that's there without sacrificing yourself. The only thing that you need to sacrifice is your old patterns, by the way. But when you're connecting with people, you have a nice say aura, so to speak, around you. It's not, it goes beyond that. But this is where you can just transform people or talk to people and help them without even practicing Reiki, by the way. But if you want to practice Reiki, that's cool.
Right.
And then you don't have to protect yourself because you're already protected. You're a higher frequency than they are around you, and they're not going to pour into you. You're going to
Okay.
pour, say, and create you'll be a strong light, and you can, once again, connect with people without destroying yourself. So, does that make sense for you, hon? Uh,
Yes.
I can
Yes.
actually see you change. Your essence literally changed, and you feel more youthful to me, by the way. Oh, I removed your grandma or your mom. That might have so
Mhm.
just disconnecting you from that. Okay, hon?
Just
Uh,
connecting to my mother.
yes.
I wasn't really connected to her.
Well,
I
let's,
think
yeah.
I was.
Okay. So,
And that's what put into your questions when you asked me about my mother and what did she fear, and that had, it wasn't, we weren't connected. I
okay.
lost her at 8.
Yeah. So frequency wise, you'd still be connected despite physical disconnect. Okay, hon?
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
You'll feel the difference. So we'll have to move on. We'll go to Sabrina.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hey,
Moss.
hey, Sabrina, how are you, hon?
I'm great. Thank you.
So how long have you been with XI?
I've been following you for 5 months now after my mom and I saw you on a podcast.
Oh,
And
awesome.
yes, and I'll be doing your 18-day starting next month.
Wow. So in 5 months, you've really changed. Um, if that makes sense to you, or a lot of possibilities that you thought was shut down for you is reopening. That makes sense for you. So think of it this way. Where Sabrina, where you have goals and dreams as a young child. You're very vibrant, by the way, and around 10 or 12, I see like a big door closed for you around that age. You don't have to talk about specifics if you don't want to. That's totally cool. But does that make sense to you?
Yes.
It's like you saw all these possibilities of what could be, as children, and then around 10 or 12, it's just like boom, something like close that close that door halfway for you. And as life progressed, say maybe in your early like 24, 25. I don't know, how old are you, by the way?
42.
So around 24, 25, is that the right age? That door closed a bit more, if that makes sense for you. And I
Yes.
and I could be off because by because what you do is like, wait a second, these doors are closing, or in your version, it's like, shit, I'm getting older and I didn't say pursue, or I didn't say feel, or discover all those things that I wanted to discover. So you hold or you pull back time. So that's why time gets disoriented. So you're 42, but sometimes you look, you look great for 42, but again, it's because you're holding back time. The older you get, you basically will go, wait, life is not fair. I didn't get to I didn't get to experience what I was promised. Does that make sense for you? How that works?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's put it, so that's the overall goal. And what I'm doing for you, one is let's keep that youthfulness pattern for you so you don't have to age like your parents do and get all the diseases. So just take a breath in and just notice your spine. From what I'm seeing, again, not a doctor or anything like that, but physically, your spine starts to contort as you age. I don't know if your elders, your grandma might have done that, or they start to shrink, so to speak, or they start to again, like they start to twist. Their spines start to twist. So let's keep you, say, youthful. So that's a great pattern. But again, the older that you get, what'll happen for you, the more anger, the more rage that you'll feel, or the more anger you feel because you didn't accomplish what you want to. And no matter how accomplished you are, you still won't be satisfied. Does that make sense to you? Bringing it down to your level. It's like,
Yes.
I did this, and doing this doesn't mean anything to me. So you'll set a bigger goal, right? And then you'll go, well, if I did this, then I'll be good. But again, the bigger the goal that you accomplish, the more that you'll lose yourself. This is where people get into fortune and fame. And then the next day or the next month or so, they get into, addictions, or they commit suicide at a very extreme level, right? Because their, say, success made them see how empty they were.
Mm.
Okay. So, for example, at your, again, physical level, take a breath in, huh? Just notice, again, your ribs. At a physical level, things seem to, say, crush you, or relationships would probably crush you, so to speak, or you feel crushed or devastated because it's like I gave that person all that I had and it wasn't good enough. Does that make sense to you? Your career. Do you have kids, by the way, or no?
No.
Did you try to have kids or something, or was there?
No, I never tried to have children.
Okay. There's just something about kids for you. Do you have like nieces or nephews or something?
I do, but they're older and we're not super close.
Okay. I just see two kids around you. I don't know why. So it could be a future event for you, or it could have been a possibility of having two kids, for example, right? If everything worked out well, but as you got older, it's like there's no way in hell, maybe there's no way I want kids. That kind of, you know what I mean? So your path kind of like went this way, where again, in another reality, if everything worked well the way you saw it at a younger age, if those doors didn't close, you would have probably had two kids. So let's get rid of that pattern. And again, maybe in the future, there's different ways of having kids, or, having, I still see two kids in the future that you kind of connect with to help them out. Basically reliving your life. Or another version of this is that if you didn't want to be here at times in your life, say 16, 17, did you not want to be here, by the way?
I don't remember that specifically.
Did you ever think like life is too hard?
Definitely.
So sometimes I see kids in that sense. So life is too hard. There's got to be another version out there. So basically, you create yourself out of time. That makes sense. So
Yeah,
that point, and then at 34 or 35, life became hard again. That makes sense for you,
it
right?
does.
Okay. So those are the two kids that I see. It's like I want to go back to my younger self and start over.
Mm.
So that's where the two kids come from. Okay, so let's clean that up for you. So what this will help you with, again, that's your core frequency, is one, you've got great success mechanisms. Okay, and what it'll help you with is that you'll create success and then you'll own it, because that ownership of success defines that you found more of yourself rather than sacrificing yourself.
Mm.
Relationships get deeper for you. Relationships will get deeper for you. They won't devastate you. That makes sense for you. So that emptiness that you feel will, say, with every success or with every relationship that comes in for you, like friends, it doesn't have to be intimate, but friends and family, there'll be a deeper meaning that you've always, say, expected the way it should have been, will start coming in for you. Do you have any questions, by the way?
No, Moss. Thank you so much.
Did all that make sense for you?
It did.
So the dreams that you've had, instead of shutting down, they're reopening. This is where also you're young enough, so you'll go back and, say, do some of those things that you kind of missed out on in your late 20s, from what I'm seeing.
Okay, beautiful.
All right, honey? Nice job. Very nice.
Thank you.
Very simple. Yep. We'll go to Ruth.
Hi, Mas.
Hey, Ruth, how are you, hon?
I'm doing good. I'm so happy to be here. And this is just a perfect. I mean, so many similarities when you talked about Marsha.
Ah, yes.
This was not a mistake.
No, no. So how long have you been with XI?
A little bit over 2 years.
Okay, awesome. So, anything specific you want to work with, or I can just scan you, just work on you, either way.
I would, yeah, scan me, to see what really is needed.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
then I do have a couple of questions.
So, Ruth, back in the day, again, there's patterns of just taking people's burdens on, especially if they're sick. Does that make sense to you? So what you do is like, I got to be a nice person. So what you do is like you just take on other people's burdens. And I'm just saying this because you've been with me for a little bit, but that was your old version. You don't do that anymore. Right? Which is really nice. You don't take on other people's burdens. You don't take on other people's heaviness, especially if they're dying or ill. Did you take care of people back in the day when you almost feel like you were a parent to your mom or dad when you were younger?
I remember a time when my mother was very sick where she told me, I need you, to help her move along.
Yeah. So
later on, I worked as a psychologist.
got it. Okay. So taking on people's burdens.
Yeah. And then energy work, and I let it go through me, and it really, it was hard. I loved it, and I realized that doing that work, I don't feel I have much self-worth, and I come to realize that the success of my clients gave me a sense and I'm worth something.
Yep. Yeah. So Ruth, what you were doing back then, okay, take a breath in, hon. Let's just clean that up a bit more. Again, you've done a great job releasing, say, the burden patterns. You've done a great job releasing, say, exchanging or sacrificing your, say, essence, your health, for the happiness of others to create self-worth. That makes sense for you? Because like back in the day with your mom, basically what, and she might have done it out of spite or she didn't know or out of goodness of her heart, whatever. Is like when she said, I needed you, basically what that meant to you was, oh, I put my life on hold so you can operate your life in me. Get it?
Yeah.
And then this is where your whatever the career that you've done or the relationships, husbands that you've had, and so on, is just like every time you get connected, well, let me put my life on hold. And that's why marriage might not work out for you as well, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, well, let me put my life on hold. So, and then you operate their life. And it's like, well, when is it my turn? Get it?
True.
You either wait till they die or you get divorced and it's like, gosh, I feel empty. And then, you fill yourself back up with, again, clients or other people. But through with XI, you've eliminated all that. So in this session, let's just close that off a bit more for you. Okay. So it doesn't come back. And then also help you bring in new knowledge, new information, where you can help people in a different way. So the more you help people, the more vibrant you become. And that's what you've been doing the past, I would say, 6 months. A lot of things happened or changed for you the past 6 months. I don't know if that's accurate or.
Well, 2 years ago when we did was a Sunday, I was concerned about a lump in my breast. And you said, I see lumps all over your body. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, oh, crap. This is not good. and actually, the cancer is still there and it's growing, and I'm not sure what is it that I am missing. I don't want just to cut it out because I see it as it's a warning sign. Something is amiss. And I
Yep.
don't want to shoot the guard dog.
Right.
You know, I want to get to the burglar.
Okay. So take a breath. And that's what I was getting to, hon. So all those people's issues, basically sacrifices that you've made, creates, say, in your case, cancer. Again, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. But in this situation, if we remove, what you've done is, again, a great job of removing, say, the burdens of all those people. Now let's remove the pattern of holding on to the burdens of all those people. Get it? And this is where you have a great opportunity of healing yourself. Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't guarantee anything, but people who have awakened have had amazing results, even like stage 4 cancers and so on, like start to disappear. So again, for you, you have that opportunity. So take a breath in. Just work on you in silence for just a second here. So, so you know how back in the day so at some level back in the day in your 20s, you woke up and you started to see it's like my life is being taken over, right? And then what you do is like you isolate those people that you help or those people that you connect with, but you store them in your body in little pockets all over your body. Does that make sense for you?
Quite see it, but likely that is, I mean, what I've also found, I don't notice it as much now that my right side is very different from my left side. My left side is very, very dense, while the right side seems to be more open, yet the cancer's on the right side.
Yep. So, so take a breath in again, hon. So you're in that transition again, where the way I would explain it is that this side is for me, this side is for everybody else. So your right side is for everybody else, the left is for you. So what you're doing now, what I can help you with too is, again, let's just take over your whole, let's have you take over your body. So you're not an apartment, so to speak, right? People don't have to live inside you anymore. People don't have to control you anymore. So take a breath in again, hon. And again, this is where you have an opportunity of, say, removing, say, the cancers for you, okay? And it could be, treatment or whatever, but people with your pattern who get cancers, even if they have treatment, and then another form of cancer will show up, or another form will show up, because they didn't delete the underlying pattern or reason. In this case, you have an opportunity to delete that underlying pattern out of you. Once and for all, you're really ready for it. And I think that's what you've geared up the past 6 months, if I'm seeing correctly. And you're here because it's like, okay, I'm ready, Moss, to just disconnect and let go completely. So your life, you'll literally see two of you, the left and the right side, and you'll just keep pushing all the memories or all the burdens and all the sacrifices. So what you'll experience physically is basically you'll start to remember some of the things that you've done, and you go, oh, okay, I don't need to hold on to those patterns anymore or those people's burdens anymore. And you just delete a lot of stuff. Physically, you'll see that. And then also you might clean up your house and get rid of memorabilia and all those things that, of the past. I don't know if you're doing that already, but that's a physical, say, confirmation for you.
Yeah, I see it, and it's overwhelming. Yep. And then I don't do anything.
Yep. This time you're going to, since the program, I helped you delete that program. Okay. And now you're going to take action and reclaim your body health-wise, and then also emotionally and physically as well in this reality. Okay.
Thank you, Moss.
Oh, welcome, Sue. Nice job.
Thank you.
You will go to Vanessa. Hey, Vanessa, how are you, hon?
Hi, Moss. So happy to be here.
Awesome. I'm happy that you are here. It seems like the theme of this group is like taking back your life.
Yes. I've related to everything you've said so far, most everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, you're younger, which is really cool. So you can go, hey, I don't want to age like that, because I think in the past you were literally in line to duplicate a version of your mom, but your father comes in there as well. If that makes sense. So your life wasn't yours.
Yes.
No matter, like, you would connect with a friend and then you'd lose yourself. Kind of a little bit different than Ruth. She would take on the burdens of other people, but still stay on track. What you do, Vanessa, is like, your friend goes, hey, you're going like, hey, I'm going this way, and your friend is going that way. You meet at an intersection and it's like, oh, I'll just go that way then. And then you lose your life.
Anytime. Why I'm not in relationship, because I haven't figured out how either not to be controlled or how to not lose myself.
Yep. And then with people like you back in the day, or like at a say bigger global level or a political level, let's say, it's like, well, we need more laws to protect ourselves. We need more of this and we need more of that. But you don't. You need to take back, say, the victimhood. I hate to say it, but basically you ran a victim pattern where people would just control you. And then they would just take advantage of you or just take you into their direction. Again, it's not their fault. It's not your fault either. It's just a pattern that you're running. Okay. So what you've done with XI, I don't know how long you've been with XI, but you've really reclaimed yourself and you've created like an identity or an icon of who Vanessa wants to be.
Oh, yes.
Does that make sense? It's like you have a clear picture. So basically what you're going is like, Moss, I want this icon of who I am. So you've done a great job. So let's put you into that direction and then give you the momentum, the tools, the motivation, and the discipline. I see that you need discipline to stay where you are.
I do. I need help not vacillating.
Yes.
Yeah.
So take a breath in again, hon. And you've moved on, but just for, clarity for the audience, just to help you out as well, and then just to close that door for you. When two parents are very, very different.
Like mine, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And then you try to please both of them.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I'm still doing that.
Yep. So basically that pattern, let's just totally disconnect it. You've done a great job understanding the pattern. And you go, well, when I'm with mom, I'm just going to be like this because I don't want any trouble. I don't want to be in the middle. I don't want to be that tool that, it's like a rag doll getting pulled. And then when I'm with dad, I'll be like that. But then when they're together, you have no concept of who you are. Because it's like, well, am I going to please mom or am I going to please dad? You know what I mean? And then this is where you go back and forth in frequency wise, by the way, or identity. So take a nice deep breath in. Huh? So let's remove that pattern. This is also, by the way, where you'll always have two choices and you'll always vacillate between one or the other.
Yes.
Two relationships will come in for you and you'll always vacillate between, do I really like this person or do I like this person? Do I want to go there or do I want to go there? Get it? So those kind of pattern just again, it always creates, say, a tearing apart or a vacillation of going back and forth. So breath in again, hon. There you go. So what I'm doing for you and what you've done really well is like, this is the person or this is the avatar that I want to be. So this avatar is here, but it doesn't have, say, essence or the breath of life. Okay. It's just a visual for you. So what I'm doing for you, and you're over here vacillating on, who Vanessa is, mom side, dad side, or whoever else. Okay. So basically, let's merge these two versions of yourself, because there's always two of you, into one. So take the best of mom and dad and all your other experiences, take the best without all the, say, sacrifice, and merge them into, say, the Vanessa that you want to become. Is that okay for you?
Yes, please. Thank you.
So just take a deep breath in, hon. So you have a clear icon of who that person you want to become is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So notice where that is in reference to where you would be. Is it, say, in front of you, or to the side of you, behind you?
I feel a lot in my heart. I'm feeling a lot. And normally I feel really grounded and more earth-centered, but I'm feeling a lot in my heart and my head.
Yep. Okay. So for you,
I've been feeling some real breaking lately. I don't know if it's this portal, but just really wishing to come into my higher self and letting that
Mhm.
what I see my ultimate self being, matching my external reality.
Yep.
And I've been working really hard to be free of others' patterning, the need for approval,
Yep.
and really coming into my own self. I just turned 45 last month, today, actually.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And I really just want to stay on track, Moss.
Yep.
And I really have a deep desire to support others with health and nutrition and get my online entrepreneurial business started finally, that I've been just feeling blocked from somehow for so long.
Yep.
I'm frustrated about that. And so I'm really ready for the next step in evolution. And I've been with you for several years on and off doing some of your wonderful programs, and you helping me adjust frequencies and elevate and evolve. And so thank you for your gifts of vision. And I feel I have my own gifts of vision and insight and perception, and I'd like to be able to level that up.
Yep.
And support others.
So the discipline part, hon, comes
Yeah.
in. That's where I said, you need that, because you get to the point that you change, but then you vacillate. So it's like,
Yes.
do I change into my real self, or do I go back? Again, that's the same pattern. So that's why I said discipline. So what you're going to do is, what I did was I helped you grow in, literally step out of your old self, because you're like kind of like the old paradigm, hon. You're trying to recreate yourself in your original form, which doesn't work out well. So this, what I do, is more dimensional, or your multi-dimensional self. It's like, no, this new version of Vanessa is here. So I just helped you, say, move from this old version to this one. And then you'll still have two people, but this is cool. It's like, this is the old version of me, this is the new version of me. And then what you do is like, I don't want the old version. And this is how you totally change. And this is where you start to come of your own. Okay, huh? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Which is really beautiful. And this is where you regain yourself. This is where, again, it's about fixing you first and then helping others. So the key for you is mental discipline. So when the things get rough or you start to vacillate, okay, don't fall back to your old self. Always do the new thing for you, even if it's uncomfortable, because that's why it's uncomfortable for you, because it's new for you. Okay. So if it feels uncomfortable, go towards that. Right? And then that's the new version of you. And then that way, again, you don't vacillate, because you always pull yourself back and then it's like, oh, I wish I was that. So that patterning will, again, after this session, will eliminate. Okay. We have to move on, but I actually see your heart space literally opening, and your new version, again, walking out of your old self, coming into that new self. So beautiful.
Mas, I heard you say we need to move on, but I do want to just hold space for my mom, who just found out she has a rare form of blood cancer, and she's a healer. Also, she's I do it with through food and cooking, but she I think has a lot to still come into herself in her healing capacity, but she's amazing. And I think I don't know if there's anything, just I wanted to mention that.
Oh, did I work on your mom earlier?
No, mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Got it. I just wanted to make sure.
Met you years ago in Marin County.
Okay. So yeah, so your mom again is the old style of healing where basically she exchanges her youthfulness, so to speak, and her vibrancy to help others.
Okay.
So as you awaken and find yourself, then she'll start to awaken as well. Okay.
Thank you for that moment. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to Christian.
Hi, Mars.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Very good. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, buddy. So anything specific you want to work with or
Yes. So it's about the feeling of scarcity around money and lack patterns and doubt. And I don't know if that comes from self-worth or what's the underlying pattern.
Yep.
And it's mainly this.
Yeah. So take a breath in, buddy. So how long have you been with XI?
Since February this year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not long. But since that time, so in that short time, basically, again, you've created a stronger version of Christian, so to speak, and you're just, I'm going to help you walk into that new version of yourself. So in the past, basically, self-doubt or guilt or shame was used in your family to say derail you or undermine you. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
They'd always make you question yourself. And no matter what you did back in the day, it was never good enough. Okay. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
Whether it's your parents, your family, or friends even. And the reason why they do that, Christian, is that you run a pattern of never, of actually, hey, I need to support people to have an identity. So to do that, so basically people use you. Christian, you're actually the one who is strong. And I say this to all those individuals who go, gosh, I'm the weak one, in relationships and but if you run this pattern like Christians, take a breath in, by the way. It's like you always feel like you're the weak one or the insecure one or the dumb one or the incapacitated one, but you end up doing all the work. If you're running that pattern, that's basically Christian's pattern. So in reality, you're the strong one. You're the one who has the concepts. You're the one who, say, takes care of, say, the relationship. Does that make sense for you? You support, so to speak. But those people, you attract people who have to make you insecure so they can latch onto you. So that's the kind of people you attract. Does that make sense for you? Right? Especially feminine frequencies. They literally, feminine frequencies like latch on to you. And then they make you like feminine. Okay? That makes sense for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they make you feel weak. They make you feel, again, distorted. And then it's like, gosh, I got to work on myself. So yes, you do. Let's get rid of those, say, frequencies of being used. Take a breath in. Another way of putting it is you're kind of like no offense, a doormat that people clean their emotionally dirty shoes on. Got it? And then
Yeah,
you go,
sometimes
what the hell's wrong with me? Like, well, it's not you. It's people cleaning all their emotions or dumping all their emotions on you. Get it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm doing so much work, but it's just other people get further, and it's so hard sometimes, like it feels like,
Yep.
Why did they progress, so
Yep. So this is, no matter what you do, you get stronger and stronger. You'll attract people who have more problems. So you would go, no matter what I do, I'm still in the same boat. Well, you're just attracting people who keep you at that same level. Get it? Does that make sense for you or no? I can give you another example.
yeah, okay.
So for example, you can maintain like 10 pounds. You can hold 10 pounds worth of weight. Okay, take a breath in. So basically, you'll attract people who will give you 10 pounds worth of their garbage. Okay. And then you go, God, this is, and then, you know, all your stuff that you carry. And then it's like, I got to get stronger. So you go and work out, for example. And then it's like, you can maintain like 30 pounds. But then what you'll do is you'll attract people that'll dump 30 pounds worth of garbage on you. So
Okay.
you feel the same, although you've gotten a hell of a lot stronger, especially since February, since you started XI. But then you've also attracted a lot of people with more problems, if you've noticed that in reality. Does that make sense? How that works?
Yes, I'm within a transition. Like I was traveling quite some time. I just come back to home, so everything is shifting. I feel a big shift, but I feel like okay, it's so many things opening now, so I don't really know which way to go. So I'm trying to be centered, you know, but it's kind of
Yeah. So
a lot of opportunities, but I don't know really.
yes. So in this scenario, what I'm doing is one, removing guilt, shame, fear, not being good enough for you. So you can actually go, you know what, I'm deserving. I know who I am. Two, getting rid of, say, dominant feminine frequencies that you attract. So even if it's a guy, you'll attract, say, a feminine, say, frequency for you. So a feminine man. Does that make sense for you? So anyway, removing all that stuff, which kind of messes up, say, your sexual identity as well, by the way. So anyway, take a breath in. Did that make sense, by the way?
Yes.
Yep. And just notice your midsection there. So this is where Christian becomes a strong identity that can still, say, help people, but not carrying their burdens. You just help, you become a strong light for other people.
So this is something that I always was told when I was younger. It comes up more now that I cannot shine because I was too bright, and others feel like how is it called? Not good in my environment because I'm so shiny.
Yep.
So this was something I was burying really long.
Yep. Yeah, you're kind of like that lamp that flies and mosquitoes and bugs just get attracted, and you've got so many flies and bugs on you that your light just doesn't shine. And then you go, what the hell is wrong with me? You know, there's nothing wrong with you. You just have that pattern of attracting that bug. So in this case, that your light is going to shine, and people will honor that light rather than, and they'll get attracted to it, but there's also a zone around you that goes, hey, I honor that light rather than, hey, I need to abuse and use that light for my benefit. Okay. So again, this is where your light shines through. This is where your grandness of self comes through. This is where your masculinity comes through. Your, say again, sexual identity gets, say, solidified for you rather than a little confused. This is also where people will gravitate towards you like they have, but there's an honor space where they don't crowd into you. This is where you don't feel suffocated, by the way. Because you get that way with close relationships, you feel suffocated, right? So, yeah. So because they push into you. So,
is there something you recommend for the next 2 or 3 weeks or next month I can do? I should take care of.
Well, one, I see you traveling for a bit.
Yeah, quite often. Yeah.
Okay. So when you travel, you're not escaping. You're going to be finding who you are. Okay. So that's the difference, by the way. There's what you can do. One, the 18-day hyper meditations that start in September. That'd be really good for you. I would take the accelerated. Okay, now if you're new, guys, I would just take the essential, but I would take the accelerated for you because you're in a whole different zone. This will help you accelerate into who the real Christian is, by the way. Okay, and that's coming up again in September. It's all on the calendar for you. So that's one of the biggest key is really finding yourself. So, okay, so nice job, and you'll see that things will be a lot easier for you than ever because you're not carrying or you're not solving other people's solutions. You're solving yours first, and they can come along later on. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.
You're so welcome. Nice job. I'd like to see some of these people in the next few months, see how far they've changed. A lot of you, hopefully you guys got, did you guys get, was that impactful for you? Did you all feel, and again, comment in how you felt about it, guys? Okay. Or did you feel the shifts as I was working on these individuals? So we've got a lot of great things coming up, guys. I want to talk about this one event that's coming up, by the way. It's actually in person. It is called the Recharge event. Okay. And it's with a lovely friend of mine. Her name is East. All the details, if the team can put the link in there, that'd be really fantastic. But we've got a really great opportunity for you, especially for those people who and I lost the page, by the way. Okay. Anyway, it's a great opportunity for you to see me in person because online sessions, we've got close to 1,000 people waiting list for you. So, it gets kind of tough to get online sessions for you, but let me go to this link. Here we go. So this Recharge event, that's happening August 25th through Sunday, August 27th. And it is part of, again, a lovely friend of mine, Dr. East Phillips. So there's other speakers involved, so on. So with that entrance fee, we've reduced our, say, in-session fees. So you get me and plenty of others, but I'll be speaking on Saturday, I believe, and in that you get lunch, and it's really going to be an amazing, say, awakening event. But with that, you get lunch, you get I'm going to be talking from 1 to 4, I believe. Yeah, 1 to 4 on Saturday, August 26th. And then those people who want to do sessions with me, it's at a heavily, deeply discounted price because of the event price. So it's really an amazing opportunity, especially if you're new, or if you've been here before with me, and want to rise to the next level. So for those who've been here before, you can go to that next level because that's what this world is dictating, going to the next level. And then for those who are new, starting so you can catch up with other ex-hires. So take a look at that link for you all. And then also coming up is the Ibiza event. That's going to be really fun. That is, again, if the team can put up the dates for you, the Ibiza event is going to be really about really understanding the new frequencies that are coming in. We have a London event coming up. It's quantum jumping. It's understanding frequencies. It's about, say, manifesting frequencies. It's great for those people who are new and are into, say, looking at a different way of, say, transforming their life outside of, the biggest thing nowadays is I'm reading this book, Stealing Fire, and they're using MDMA, I think, and all those, plant medicines, and a lot of mavericks, in Silicon Valley, they're using all these plant medicines, and that shit's so old and it doesn't really work. If it did work out, you'd have really fantastic people that don't die off or don't get, say, so abusive and so on when they come into their, say, intelligence, and again, there's a lot of high-level CEOs that start out from nothing. They create, say, mass wealth because they did stuff like that, or they get into altered, say, consciousness, but they don't know how to do it right. And some of the great famous names is Tesla, Nikola Tesla, again, got into great realmed altered states. Nowadays, he didn't use drugs, but nowadays people are using drugs or other modalities, shamanism and all that stuff to get into. And there's nothing wrong with shamanism, but you want to practice it right, by the way. Those kind of say island type frequencies, or they get into altered states, right? Because that's a big fad, and then that pushes their performance, that pushes their athletic performance, their mental performance. Elon Musk and so on, founders of Google are in this, featured in this book, and it's like they get fucked up. They really get messed up. So that quantum jumping is about that. And then again, so that's the London event coming up, and I think we'll do it online as well. I'm not exactly sure, guys. And then the Ibiza event is literally understanding and really coming one, or togetherness. And people will go, well, it's connecting with nature. It is connecting with nature, but again, you're connecting to a higher version of who you are. So that's the Ibiza event. And then also, we've got the personal deprogramming coming up, and also session 3 of harnessing the power of NDEs. That's also coming up as well, but it's all on the calendar for you. Okay, so let's see here. Again, guys, sorry, I just lost my space. I want to just get back into the comments. If you haven't checked out, if the team can also put that, ancient civilizations, knowledge of ancient civilizations, it gives you the understanding on how ancient civilizations, had amazing technologies, advanced technologies, more so than what we have today. It's like, well, how do they do that, right? That YouTube video explains that for you, by the way. So, all right, guys. Next week we'll be doing scans on the audience for you. So, all right. So as we end, hopefully this episode on Moss on Sunday gets you into a higher state. By the way, getting into a higher state doesn't mean that things just go blissfully for you. Sometimes, you get into higher states and you get to see all the garbage that is holding you back. So it's a great opportunity for you to disconnect from that garbage. So after this session, especially if you're new, if you're not feeling good, it's like, gosh, I watched this guy, Moss on Sunday, I'm not feeling good. It's not because of me. It's just because you've already, say, enlightened yourself. You've, say, become a better version of yourself. And now you're seeing, it's like, shit, that shit's got to go. So again, pay attention to that and don't go back to your old self. You have a great opportunity to go forward and see what's actually been holding you back. Okay. And then obviously those people who just go, guys, I watched this guy Moss and it's like, I just feel great. Just, because you basically let go of your old self a lot easier. All right. That's it for me, guys. Notice what you notice. Notice the details of what you're noticing. All right. Peace. Now imagine if you were an awakened spirit coming into this reality. So that's what this Ibiza event is really about. And well, this is the time of freedom now. So now is that breaking point for us. It literally is a time where space and time come together. It's a whole different pattern, not just for humans. It's nature, it's the planets. Again, it's a universal transformation. I think humans should join the party. The Ibiza is really special. There's a portal there. Many people experience it and feel it there. We're going to take that quantum jump forward into first person consciousness. So that's what this Ibiza event is really about. Intimate morning meditations, daily gourmet lunch, daily dinner, private yacht to explore Ibiza, dancing parties, a lot of, say, adventures. Again, it's just going to be a great, fantastic time. Really nurturing who we are as beings, not because we deserve it. We already know we deserve it. We're free from that. We can start to create a whole new pattern. So it's our choice. We can either go down that road and get shackled again, or we can go, you know what, this new direction that we could have been on, that we should have been on, now it's open to us again.